So if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's do better_fitness, and that's for my work one, and our car one is watch_German_cars. Okay, please enjoy the video. So the EQC 400 4MATIC is no longer available to spec, but it did run from December 2020 until June 2023. So you can still find new examples on dealer lots. You can find older ones in China, and depending where you live, you can import it if you really, really, really wanted one. I'm honestly not going to do that. I'm just looking for ones that are currently here. But I'm really debating because of all the recalls and the problems they're having. And plus, they've killed this model. So no longer building them anymore. It makes you just wonder why had they killed it, right? Obviously, they didn't have a lot of uptake on them. So, because I'm really heavily considering buying a Mercedes EQC 400, I have rented one. Had it for about a month, just using it in town, only no motorway or freeway whatsoever, just because it just goes to the range too fast. I did do a couple tests just to compare it to I had an e-tron 55, so I want to compare it to that, and I'm also comparing it to a C63, a Panamera 9711 4E hybrid, and actually a bunch of other cars just to see what they do in control test. And is it better to have a diesel, a petrol, an electric for what we personally want to use it for? So a video like that be coming out shortly. But honestly, I've been having so many coolant problems on this rented one. Luckily, it's under warranty, so I took it in. The first two times I took it in the Mercedes, all they did was say, "Oh yeah, it's just low, and you don't have any leaks." So they topped it up, and I told them you should pressure check the cooling system. He said no, they don't do that. So all it is just a little low. So he topped it up. 200 miles later, I came back, and he said, "Oh, it's just low. Just top it up." And I said, "There's something else wrong." And since I've been doing research, but I don't want to touch this since A, it's not my car, and B, I don't want to mess with the warranty on it. So I told him that it's already been in here for this, and it's literally dropping every 200 miles. So he said, "Oh yeah, they have a problem with the cap on the coolant reservoir." So he said they're back ordered, but what he could do is he could pull one off of another car they had in stock and put that one on this one. So that's what they did, and then gave it back to me. But same thing, after 200 miles, the coolant's low. And then I think the fourth time I went back, and I went to a different place this time. So he could see in the computer that I've had this problem for a long time almost, and it's the same problem. So he said, yeah, it's probably not bled properly from the factory. So he did the correct bleeding procedure, and as of right now, it's staying put. It's not leaking. The levels are staying fine, and it needs this. Without this, honestly, the motors already get hot too quickly, and it's just gonna have a lot of problems. And I definitely don't want to ruin the front drive on this car. Okay, so this recall is actually puts you into fire risk. So what it's basically saying that the high voltage battery may not meet the specifications. If a cell module is not screwed tight enough, the connection could loosen during driving or vibrations because of the motion, and the electric resistance of the connection could increase. So this is why this is a fire risk. So you have a 2021 EQC, make sure you get this recall done, because honestly you don't want it to burn to the ground. And a lot of times when they catch fire, they're in your garage and it burns your house down. So you have a 2019 through 2020 EQC. They're notifying as BR293 vehicles. Their wiring harness could have been damaged during the assembly process, and this also would let water into it, and this can also over time let the steering control module unit fail. So you lose your power steering. So this is another problem with the steering. So honestly, if you have this one, get it checked. So for this recall, this affects the 2020 models. This is if you're in a side impact crash like a T-bone. So unfortunately, the electronical connectors of the side impact sensors were not correctly latched, and this could become detached fully, which will lead to the delay of the activation of the restraint system in the event of a T-bone or a side impact. So this could increase the risk of injury to the vehicle's occupants. So honestly, a lot of recalls, but this stuff you can get fixed. So this one is a 2019 recall. This is going to affect more of the countries than the UK, and because I think 2020 is when they started selling them here. So the housing of the high voltage battery may corrode due to inadequate corrosion protection. As a result, moisture could penetrate the battery and cause fire or just failure. So this happened a lot in the Porsche Taycan as well. So a lot of manufacturers have had this. Sometimes they switched to a different bonding agent, or sometimes they just didn't put enough. They switched to a different bonding agent and they needed more of this new one. So it is something, if you have to get it fixed, it is easy for them to fix it and they can check the cells at the same time. So this recall has actually slowed me buying the car. So 2021's on the EQC, the left-hand side rear back lock does not comply with the specs. So this could lead to failure of the seat back locking system in the event of an accident, increases the risk of injury. So basically on a hard brake, that locking mechanism should keep the seats locked in place so they don't fall down. And they're failing. So unfortunately, because I'm going to put kids in the back, this will be like a daily, take them to school and go grocery shopping, stuff like that. So this is a big concern for me. So I'm still waiting a little longer to see what else goes wrong with them, I think, before I jump and buy one. And I'm definitely going to make sure all these recalls are done. And if you choose to buy one as well, make sure all the recalls have been done before you get it, because it's very annoying. A little bit of time I've spent going in right now with this one, and they don't give you like for like rentals, unfortunately. So the courtesy car is normally a lot smaller, and it will be a petrol or diesel. They do, however, they were giving you like shop credit, store credit to help you with the fuel cost of the other rentals. Unfortunately, because they're having the EQC for quite a while to fix some of these problems. I would rather just not have to deal with it. I know when we take the AMG and stuff in, you get a nicer courtesy car, but I think that's very, very expensive. So maybe that's why. But this EQC is still very expensive too. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future. Hopefully, all this stuff gets worked out, and hopefully, it'll just get better and better with time. Mercedes is actually also having problems with their powertrain cooling systems. So the EQC uses a motor made by ZF, and the big cast assembly sat on top of the motor is its inverter. And unfortunately, because of this, the unit is just getting too hot and having a lot of cooling problems. So what Mercedes have done with the EQC is they're removing the engine cover, so like that plastic thing, and just taking off and hoping that will keep it cooler in the hotter climates. And they said that their entire powertrain manufacturing is going to be internally instead of having the way they've done it on this one. So now we're going to be talking about the huge recall that they've had on the EQCs in China. And this particular recall is actually because of cooling system and electric drive module has not been adequately sealed, which is causing and leads to coolant leaks. So this is around 10,000 EQCs from the production period of November 30th, 2018 to December 15, 2021 were recalled. This went live on August 2022. Okay, so this one is actually going to affect more people in the UK and Germany. So Mercedes have just issued a recall notice for more than 19,000 examples of the EQC about concerns over the power steering failing just suddenly. So you'd be on a drive and all of a sudden you have no steering whatsoever. So they haven't clarified exactly how many cars have already failed or is affected, but it's saying that if your car was built from December 11th, 2019, and all the way up till May 18th, 2020, that you should get this checked before you have any problems. So hopefully this video has helped you, and if you ask the questions that maybe make the video in the first place, hopefully it has answered those questions, and hopefully you get your overheating fixed as well. If you have any other questions or anybody else does, please let me know, and I really will try to make you a video. And as far as I'm concerned, I still think it's a good car. It's so comfortable. Like I said, it's more comfortable than our SQ. I'll say it's as comfortable as our SQ8. It doesn't have the range of the SQ8, so the SQ8 is air suspension. This is not fully, so you can't get it to be as soft or as sporty, but it's fine for a daily. So it hasn't stopped me from looking. I'm gonna wait maybe another month or two, and then if I don't find anything better for an electric vehicle, I think I might just buy one. As long as all these recalls are done. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Please like and subscribe.